Do you know what? It was actually after the podcast last week that everything went downhill for us all.
He gets closer and closer, and all I hear him say is, "I'm going to be sick." And I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, he's going to throw up on me. And he just passes out and starts having a seizure on me.
I honestly was laying there like, is this a dream? Or is this real?
Yeah, it was really, really weird. I mean, for me, it happened for like 30 seconds, and then I just addressed it.
So obviously seeing this happen to Mike, I'm sat there preparing for mine thinking, oh my goodness, I'm probably going to pass out or throw up or something.
By this time, I'm just ready to just crash the car into a bush and just sleep there. Oh, you would have lost it.
Yeah, I probably would have cried. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to A Couple of Coaches podcast with me, Emma Harding, and my co-host, Michael Clark.
That was a proper hello.
I know, and I full named us. I was trying to be professional.
Was you?
Yeah.
Makes a change.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm well. I'm good.
I'm well.
I'm well. Yeah, hope everyone had a good weekend. Yeah, it's Tuesday here. How was your weekend, Emma? We had quite a busy weekend, actually.
We did have.
God, I did have a busy weekend, didn't I? That's quite a funny story to tell.
Oh, yeah, that is quite a funny story to tell. No, in fact, we had a busy week last week. Do you know what? It was actually after the podcast last week that everything went downhill for us all.
What happened?
The dog.
Oh, yeah, the dog. Poor
It was
boy.
literally
this. God,
it was this time last week, this evening.
Was it?
This afternoon, yeah. So basically, let's try and not make this too long because I could probably talk about this for a whole hour. Basically, last week, the dog wasn't well. We thought it was kennel cough because he was coughing. Then that stopped and he started having diarrhea regularly, pretty much every 1.5 hours to 2 hours of diarrhea for 4 days straight. So that meant getting up in the night every 2 hours to take him out to the toilet. We live in a flat. We don't have a garden. We have to put him on the lead and take him all the way down the road. It's not an easy job. So yeah, the dog had diarrhea. I didn't have a full night's sleep until Sunday night.
Yeah, it was Sunday, wasn't it?
And basically we were meant to go to an engagement party on the Saturday, which we were both actually really looking forward to. It was in London. And obviously because the dog was diarrheaing every 2 hours, we couldn't leave him alone, and we actually had no one to look after him. Should have asked Nathan.
We wouldn't have done that to someone anyway.
No, we wouldn't have left him ill. Basically, he's like a child to me. It's like leaving your child at home ill or leaving your child with someone else when they're ill. You don't want to do that. You just want to be with them. So I said to Mike, you go to the engagement party, I'll stay at home. We had a big day the next day after the party, so we weren't going to stay for long anyway. And I think this takes me on to your experience that night, Michael.
Yeah, it was just long. I mean, it was my friend's engagement party, so I was going to go, obviously, show my face and that. And we wasn't, even if me and Emma both went, we wasn't going to stay there long and drink because we had a big client event literally we knew we was going to have to be up at like 6:30 to walk the dog and prepare for the morning. So it was like, we're just going to go there, see everyone, say hello, have a beer or two and go home. That was the plan. So Emma goes, I'm just going to stay with the dog, which made sense because the poor boy was ill. So, get to the station, train delayed, half an hour. Great.
Good start.
Great start. Get there, see everyone. It was a really, really good setup, really good party. Had a beer, had 2 beers actually. And then it got to that time and I thought, Emma had messaged me and told me that the fast train home was at 10:31, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
So I was like, right, I'm going to get that train because then that gets me home for about 11:15, get some sleep, good. Seen everyone, everything works out perfectly. Nah, it doesn't, does it? Go and get to the train, get there, half an hour delay. So I go to Greg's and wanted a warm drink. So I got a coffee for some reason
Honestly, this man literally drinks coffee at 10:30 at night and then will go straight to bed. Sleeping. I don't know how he does it.
And so I, had a coffee and then waited for the train. Train arrives, great, get on it. And I'm standing there and I don't know, when I'm in like trains or stuff like that, I'm always looking at everyone. Do you know what I mean? You know what happens in trains sometimes. So I'm always on the lookout thinking, right, what's going on here?
I love that for you.
Who's doing what?
Yeah.
I'm just a bit, not paranoid, but I just like to know what's going on, especially when you're in London because like people are like drunk and I'm like, I just want to be aware. So I clocked this geezer next to me and he wasn't making much sense. And he had an orange juice in his hand. And I knew he was English and he was like talking, but he wasn't making much sense. And I'm like, is he pissed or is he not? And then he got on the phone and started talking normally. And I'm like, mate, what is going on with this guy? And he's getting very close to me. Like, by the way, there's no one standing up. It's just me and him. And he's getting really, really close. He gets closer and closer. And all I hear him say is, I'm going to be sick. And I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. He's going to throw up on me. And he just passes out and starts having a seizure on me. And I was like, what the hell's going on here then? And luckily there was a couple of doctors. Literally, there was one doctor sitting right there, and she jumped up really quick, and she
Did
put
she
him into...
see it as soon as it happened?
Yeah. I think she was facing, so she saw it happen and obviously clocked. So fair play to her.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy that was, I think, in the first class carriage, and he come out. So they were both like trying to sort him out. The train literally just stopped at East Croydon as well. So it was like, okay. And then they couldn't get him off the train. They tried to get him up, and he like passed out again. And then they rung an ambulance, and the ambulance were like, right, no. And the doctors were like, no, we're going to have to leave him here. So I'm thinking now, obviously he's with doctors. Now I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, how do I get home? And then there's an announcement saying, right, go to platform here. There's a train to Gatwick. So I thought, right, run over there. Absolutely heaving packed train. Got to Gatwick, go to platform 6. There's a train to Three Bridges, cancelled. I was like, oh, for God's sake, which was probably the bloody train that I was supposed to be on. Maybe, I don't know. And so then go and get a cab, £27, thank you, for a 5-minute journey.
Because you parked your car
So I parked my car at Three Bridges.
Yeah.
By this time, I think it's like midnight or something, and I'm like, well, this isn't great. So I drove, driving home, and go the normal way home, road's closed. So can't get through where I normally go, so I go around the other way, road's closed. So I go around a third way, road's closed. And by this time, I'm just ready to just crash the car into a bush and just sleep there. So I had to drive all the way around Horsham, and then finally got home. So I probably spent about the best part of 3 or 4 hours travelling for to spend an hour at an engagement party.
So it was probably quite good that I didn't come.
You would have lost it.
Yeah, I probably would have cried.
And like you would have been thinking the dog's been home all this time.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a bit of waffle from me. And then I decided to get home and tell Emma my whole story.
It was literally...
She was fast asleep. I woke her up and told her my whole story.
I was literally half asleep, and he was like, you're never going to guess what happened to me. And he was telling me all this stuff. And I honestly was laying there like, is this a dream? Or is this real? Like, it was funny.
But yeah, that's that. And then we woke up, and then, went to our... Oh, you can talk now. I've just waffled on for a long time. People have signed off now.
Then we woke up and got ready for our very... pre-organised, like we've had it organised for a while, client event. So it's kind of been like quite a big build up to it. We've been working hard on it, putting things into it, and it was on Sunday. So it was our first event together, and we were quite nervous. Well, I was nervous. Mike was like cool as a cucumber as always.
Well, I was. I thought I was.
Yeah, well, we'll get there, won't we? We basically organised a little group meetup in Crawley for both our clients, and it was really nice to see them in person, wasn't it?
Here's a picture. Nathan,
here's a picture of us all together. I think we had about 15 people in the end, something like that.
15. Yeah, 15.
Yeah. Me and Mike were like, we'll do some like talks on some topics and stuff, just to give a bit of education and knowledge and help them sort of expand on what they're already doing, which for me was like really, really scary. But for Mike, he was like, yeah, I'll be fine. It'll be good.
I was just like, well, I'll go first. Well, I went first for 2 reasons. I went first so like Emma didn't have to kind of have the spotlight on her straight away, so I could kind of like get it all going. And plus my slides look like they've been done by a fucking 3-year-old. So I thought, I'm not going after Emma because I'm going to look even worse. And I mean, we played a little game first, didn't we? Spin the wheel to kind of be a bit of an icebreaker. We actually went down pretty well. So everyone had to do like burpees or mountain climbers, or some people got some sweets and protein shakes. So that was quite good fun. So obviously, make everyone feel a bit, what's the word? A bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
You kind of everyone was laughing, having a good time.
Yeah.
And then it was my time to do my talk. And yeah, it was really fucking weird. I basically had, I don't know what I had. I would say it was some sort of like, I don't know, anxiety or something. I don't know if it was that bad.
No, I don't think it's that, because I had it as well. I think it's more just like, I don't know. has anyone ever spoken in front of people and gotten out of breath?
Yeah,
that's what I would describe
it
it as. Like,
I think your heart rate I think what it is, it's obviously an element of nerves because your heart rate obviously rises, your body temperature rises. And as you're trying to talk, you're trying to like catch your breath. So then you start talking a bit quicker to get the words out. But then obviously it snowballs.
Yeah.
And it is a common thing. And me and Emma have never done a presentation before. And like Emma said, like before, I was like, oh no, it's fine. I mean, I've done demos in front of more people than this, and I've done classes in front of more people than this. And then it comes to doing a presentation in front of people, and it was really, really weird. I mean, for me, it happened for like 30 seconds, and then I just addressed it because I thought, this isn't right. So I addressed it, to which everyone kind of laughed, thinking it was like funny and me having a joke. Which one of my clients said to me after. He was like, I thought you were joking.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I definitely was struggling to breathe. And then for me, it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
But I think that's because for me, like, I felt my heart rate going, obviously had some form of nerves. And then because everyone was looking at me, I was almost trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
So as soon as I kind of said to everyone, struggling to breathe, I'm clearly a bit nervous, everyone laughed about it. It just completely went.
Feel better, yeah.
And it just completely went. And then I was like, all right. So then it was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah.
I'm really, really glad it happened because going in the future, I would like to talk to bigger groups of people and do something like that. So I'm glad it happened then, and I kind of know. And even if going forward, it's kind of a joke that you can open with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know I've got to do a best man speech next year, so that'd be in front of more people, and I think I'm gonna have a.
Is that different? Like, is that better?
Yeah,
though?
that's different. No, and it's different. It's more jokey.
It's not like you're having to get your facts right or like.
More, I think what it is when you're doing a presentation, you're doing kind of an educational talk, so it's a little bit different to having a bit of banter, and it is much different to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think when you're doing like an educational presentation, you do want to make sure that you don't get your words wrong. You don't want to you're making sure you don't say something wrong, and you almost feel a bit judged because it's all your clients. So you're thinking you want to be this person.
That's what I was gonna say.
But it was all right. I'm glad it happened, and I mean, everyone even said to us after they were very surprised that it was our first talk. Because it obviously went pretty well.
So obviously seeing this happen to Mike, I'm sat there preparing for mine, thinking, oh my goodness, I'm probably gonna pass out or throw up or something. And I literally had the exact same thing, but I've had this before. Like I've been speaking. There is only one other time that I've spoken in person, and that was where I teach dance. I had to give out some awards once, but I didn't really have to speak for long. I just had to say this award goes to blah, 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 because, and that was it. And I remember it sort of happening to me there. So yeah, mine just didn't stop the whole way through. I just couldn't breathe the whole way through.
But you did pretty well because you first addressed it as like, oh, I know what you mean by the breathing, Mike. Yeah. And then you would be like, oh no, still can't breathe, which everyone then kind of laughed, and which is quite nice.
And it does make you feel better. And I think like what you were saying, it's like there was quite a lot of pressure, not in a bad way, but obviously these are our clients who, you know, have come to us to feel more confident, to feel like better in themselves, to be the best version of themselves. And then obviously we've got to be that sort of like influence on them that is that. But at the same time, I think they probably actually quite liked seeing us quite vulnerable, because it probably is like, oh, they are just like human, like they're just like sort of normal. And you know what, they were amazing. Like I remember when you said, oh, I'm struggling to breathe, someone was sort of like, you're doing really well, like, and they were really nice. And I remember I was talking and you know when like people are like trying to be like, you're doing really well, and loads of them were doing that, and it was just, even like some of the men were like
it was
so
really,
it was just
really
honestly, they were just so lovely, such a nice bunch of people, so friendly, and everyone sort of got along, and people that didn't know each other were sort of talking to each other. So I think we're just so used to talking on this podcast, on a camera, behind a screen, that when you get in person it's like,
but people think, like my brother, because I spoke to him about it, and he was like, mate, surely it's like worse having to talk in front of camera all the time. And I was like, mate, talking in front of camera is easy. Like filming yourself's easy. You're used to that. But saying that, for for someone who doesn't do it, that's really hard. And then when we first started the podcast, and when I first ever did any recording, if I look back at them, I'm like, my God, like you actually posted that.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing. Like I hopefully in a couple of years' time, we'll look back and we had it all filmed, and you'll look back at your first kind of public speaking and be like, fuck me. How did they even let me get away with that?
Yeah.
You know
and it's
I mean?
almost good that we were open and honest about how we were feeling, because
100%.
it will be obvious in years' time. Do you know what I mean? That we were like that.
You have to be open and honest. And that's the best way to do it is to kind of, I guess, crack a joke. Because for me anyway, I think for me, it was more, I was trying to cover it up because obviously for me, I don't know whether it's an ego thing or whatever. I thought I was fine. Like I said to you, I'll go first. No, it's only a bit of a talk. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's easy. And Billy Big Bollocks. And then all of a sudden, like the room just went, and I was like, all right, chest is getting a bit tight. Trying to talk and I'm just getting my words out. And then I'm going really quick.
Yeah.
And then, obviously thought I have to adjust this. I have to address this situation because them eyes are following me everywhere and I can't get away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as soon as he's done that, it just went. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. Like what you said, when I first spoke on camera, I couldn't do it. I think Nathan will probably remember. We had that table there and I was sat there. Honestly, I look back at the videos, I'm not even smiling. I'm literally like, I look like a deer in headlights and like think how much we've improved. Like we went and did a content shoot a few weeks ago, especially for me, because I haven't really shot any content like that in a while. But I actually really surprised myself. And obviously I got my words wrong and obviously I got frustrated and got things wrong. But I felt quite confident in doing it. And it just shows that, you know, with practice, things will come.
100%. It's repetition, isn't it? It's the same as everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, same as on your journey and going to the gym and stuff like that. It's repetition. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
So
and I guess just like for anyone listening, obviously we're super confident with going to the gym and training, and you know, Mike can take his top off when we're on holiday. I can wear a bikini when I'm on holiday, which maybe for some of you listening is something that you're not so confident with at the moment. But whoever's listening could be really confident at talking in front of people. They could do it sort of every day for their job. But for us, that's something that's really, really scary. Yeah. So I think it's good for us to just sort of like let our walls down and just sort of show you things that we're not maybe so confident in, which is fine. Like it's fine to not 100%. Be confident in stuff. And that's kind of what I spoke about at our event. One of my topics was confidence, which I said was really ironic because I was so nervous. But my whole talk was about, you know, what makes us not feel confident and how can we be more confident. So I think it was good that I was doing something I wasn't confident in to kind of help explain that.
The thing is, confident isn't just one thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a big spectrum. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so many different levels to confidence. Like someone could be really confident at going to the gym, but just won't go and talk to a girl in a bar.
Yeah.
Or could stand there and speak to thousands of people or whatever about their subject. But then you put them in a gym and they're a bit like, oh, I don't like this. Everyone's judging me. Like, there's so many different. You can be good at one thing. Like there's not many. There is obviously people out there, but there's not many people out there that have that confidence level of all areas.
Yeah.
A lot of people have insecurities. A lot of people are just not that confident. Like even taking your top off. You've got some people that billionaires that can stand there and talk to 10,000 people, but they don't really want to take their top off because they feel freaking miserable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so many different layers to it.
Yeah. And everyone
that's just
has
one of our layers, I guess.
Yeah, strengths and weaknesses, and that's just one of our weaknesses. But, you know, if you want to get better at something, you have to actually do it and work on it. And I think that's something that we've both realised we really want to do with like our public speaking, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Is get better on it.
It's a good thing to do. And it gives you a massive buzz as well. I mean, we both come away from that event with a big buzz, just thinking, right, when's the next one?
Yeah.
And had so many messages afterwards from people that was unable to make it, asking when the next one is, because they've obviously heard and seen how good it was and how fun it was. And I think the best thing for us was kind of standing back and just seeing loads of random people that didn't know each other, like having a good conversation about a similar subject is quite a nice thing, right?
Yeah.
And just like-minded people meeting each other is cool.
Yeah.
Mine, they before that never even knew each other. Didn't even know each other existed until they met each other, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And well done to us for putting it on.
Yeah. And your Mike's client,
Angie,
she's
done a talk, done a very, very
she'll be
good
listening
talk.
to this, did a talk as well. Yeah, she was amazing, and she told her story so well, didn't she?
Yeah, she was really, really good. I mean, and even I think she had an element, I mean, you wouldn't have known it.
No.
But she had an element of nerves, but she speaks to teams of people at work, like big teams of people. But then for her, it was different because she wasn't talking for educational purposes. She was talking about herself, which again is another hard thing to do if you're not doing that. But she did an incredible job, and yeah, because she did an incredible job, we've dragged her onto the podcast. So all you listeners will be able to, in the future at some point, hear her story, which would be quite cool.
Yeah, that will be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be. I feel like we've just run out of things to talk about.
Well, shall I break down what we spoke about, what I spoke about with confidence?
Yeah, if you break down your...
So
as we're on that kind of subject of confidence.
We basically just went through, I can't get on it now. We went through like a few different reasons why people don't feel confident. So obviously there are so many different reasons, but we kind of picked 5 things. So first one being negative self-talk. So obviously talking yourself down, criticising yourself, dwelling on things that have happened in the past, which can make you obviously feel not as confident. Fear of failure, so setting yourself up to do something but scared that you won't sort of succeed or do well in it, is going to really knock your confidence. Comparison, so comparing yourself to people, which we've all done. Comparing people's journeys and sort of where someone is compared to you. Lack of skills, knowledge and experience, which I think is the main thing that we lacked in for this talk. So we didn't have any experience in it. We didn't have any skills in it. We didn't go into it knowing this is how you should present something. We literally just did it, which I think is a good way to go into things. Sometimes you just got to sort of throw yourself into it and sort of learn from what went wrong or what didn't go as well. But yeah, like we have people come to us who, don't know how to lose body fat or don't know how to build muscle, and they come to us for help. So seeking help for something that you're not so confident in.
But now I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And imposter syndrome. So feeling like an imposter in an environment where you're not an imposter. So just feeling like a fraud, feeling not good enough, even if you are good enough to be there. So the things that we spoke about, this is so weird. There we go. Things that we spoke about. So if you are someone that sort of negatively self-talks to yourself, just be a little bit more compassionate towards yourself. And I think I said sort of treat yourself as you would a friend. So if I said to Mike, how was the speech? Like, it was really bad, wasn't it? He's not going to be like, yeah, you were shit, you need to do this. He would be like, no, you were really good. Like sort of build me up for it. So kind of talk to yourself as you would if someone else was coming to you for advice. Fear of failure. So just like we do for our clients' fitness journeys, is just set achievable goals. So rather than just us being like, let's go talk in front of 100 people, we started with 15, then maybe we'll go up to 20, 30, and just kind of do it in little steps rather than just going for the end goal. Sorry, this is really hard to read. Comparison, so just don't compare yourself to others. Make sure that you celebrate your own journey and your own experiences, and know that everyone started at the beginning. So even if someone is way ahead of you, they were definitely at the position that you were in at some point. I feel like I'm just talking here. Is this really boring?
No, you're running people through it.
Lack of skills and knowledge. Obviously, if there's something that you don't feel confident in, you need to invest in help with that or guidance with that if you can't do that yourself. And you need experience in it. So whatever it is, just try doing it. Whether you feel uncomfortable in the gym, just get in the gym, just get a feel for the environment, even if you don't do a proper weighted session or anything.
That's exactly what we've done. You just tried it. We chucked ourselves in the deep end a bit.
Yeah.
What Emma did, I mean, I didn't think I was, but how was I to know? Like, if I didn't do that and then I went and got asked to go and do, imagine I got asked to go and do a talk for someone else in front of 40 people.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And that was my first one. And then it happened there. It would be in front of 40
Really
people I don't
embarrassing.
even know would be humiliating. But the fact that I did it with my kind of close circle of clients who are not going to be really judgmental of you, and it happened in a smaller group of people is good, because now you're aware of what could happen, or almost it's not going to happen again because you've kind of got that out of your system. So.
Yeah, well, don't say that. You never know.
Yeah.
It will definitely happen to me. And then I sort of found something that quite helped me, which is called the confidence cycle. So it's just sort of like different steps in order to getting more confident. So obviously the first step is to practice your skills. So me and Mike actually practice our presentations in our living room the day before, just to kind of get a feel for it. And then actually apply your skills effectively. So then we stood in front of 15 people and spoke, assessed the results. So Nathan, producer Nathan, actually filmed our speeches. So I'm dreading it, but we're going to go back and watch them. And that means that we can then assess the results. So have a look at maybe what we could do better the next time that we do talk in front of people, whether it's more eye contact, whether it's facing them more rather than looking at the screen, whatever it is, and then modify as needed. So then the next time we do it, we're going to work on the things that we feel we need to work on. And I think that can be applied to anything that you don't feel confident in.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good affirmation.
Do you want to talk while I get it up?
Yeah. Emma's going to get
Bring something to the
up.
table.
Oh, I thought I'd let you talk, because that was Emma's talk. I didn't talk about confidence, but Emma did, which was quite fitting for the day. And yeah, she can do our affirmation. Ready?
So affirmation for today is: overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness.
It's quite fitting to bloody the that, really, wasn't it? Kind of
Yeah.
Overthinking
something.
A bit too much.
Yeah, so by overthinking something, you're going to probably actually make yourself more unhappy about the situation than if you didn't overthink it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to not overthink, but I mean, overthink. That's definitely it definitely can lead to unhappiness, and no doubt most people have been through it, where you kind of overthink something and then that thing happens and you're like, oh, yeah. Is that it?
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, I'll tell you what's an example is sometimes when we've had like ridiculously busy weekends coming up, and we've got a sort of dog, we've got to be there and there, and we're just like, oh my God, this weekend's going to be absolutely hell. And then all of a sudden the weekend's over and you're like, all right, that's done now.
That's it now.
Yeah. So it is like that. I think life's like that, whether it be financial or going somewhere or doing something. It's quite easy to overthink it, and I think it's just a human thing to do. It's just quite natural for you to overthink it. So being able to control that is a very good power to have, because if you overthink everything, then it can lead to being unhappy, being stressed, getting really overwhelmed over small situations.
Yeah. So try not to overthink.
Yeah.
Says me, the biggest overthinker in the world.
Said I mean, doesn't sleep because you overthink. So, you know, tonight if you can't sleep, I'm just going to be like, just don't overthink.
Don't overthink. I'll be like, okay.
Yeah. All right. On that note,
thank you everyone for listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. I hope that will help you feel more confident, and we will see you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye-bye.